All right, let's just jump right into it. We have all been there, right? You're stuck in a conversation that feels, well, less like a chat and more like you're walking through an emotional minefield. Dealing with difficult people is something we all face. But what if I told you there's a way to handle these moments with way more control and a lot less frustration? That's exactly what we're going to unpack in this explainer.
So does this look familiar? You walk away from talking to someone and you just feel wiped out, confused, maybe even like you've been played a little. Yeah, that's a real feeling, and trust me, you are not imagining it. You're actually picking up on a dynamic that is specifically designed to pull you in and just wear you down.
And here's the absolute key to understanding this. Those draining, frustrating conversations, they aren't just random. It's not just someone having a bad day. It's a predictable pattern of behavior. And once you learn how to spot that pattern, you can totally learn how to manage it.
Now this really hits the nail on the head. In these interactions, you kind of stop being a person to them. You become an object, a tool. You're either their personal complaint department, there to soak up all their negativity, or you're expected to be their cheerleader, constantly pumping up their ego. It's a one-way street, and it's all about serving their needs, not connecting with you.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we have to dig a little deeper. We need to look past what they're doing and really understand why they're doing it. There's a core psychological reason for all of this, and figuring that out is the first real step to changing how you react.
And here it is. This is the big idea. Compensatory behavior. Basically, all those difficult actions are just a strategy. These people are trying to compensate for their own insecurities, their own unhappiness. And honestly, just knowing that is incredibly powerful, because it shifts you from feeling like a victim of their behavior to being an informed observer of it. It's a total game changer.
All right, so this compensatory behavior stuff might sound a little abstract. Let's make it real. It tends to show up in a few very distinct ways. We're going to look at 4 common types, the usual suspects, if you will, that I guarantee you've met at work or in your personal life.
So let's break this down. First up, you've got the whiner. We all know one. Their whole deal is playing the victim, and what they're really after is your constant attention and validation. Then there's the steamroller. These are the bullies. They intimidate people because they have this deep need to feel powerful and superior. Next, we have the procrastinator. They're the ones who are always dodging responsibility. But it's not because they're lazy, it's because they're terrified of making a mistake. And finally, the explosive type. They lash out with very little warning, all to compensate for a really fragile sense of self-worth. See the pattern here? Every behavior is just a mask for a hidden need.
So now that we can spot who we're dealing with, we can start thinking strategically. And look, the first part of any good strategy is knowing what not to do. Engaging in the wrong way is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It doesn't just fail, it actually makes everything worse. So here are the traps you absolutely have to avoid.
Think of this as your defensive playbook. Rule number 1, don't take ownership of their problems. It's their circus, their monkeys, not your job to fix. Number 2, and this is a big one, don't get dragged into an argument. You can't win a logic fight against an emotional position. It's a waste of energy. Crucially, with a steamroller, never show you're intimidated. It's exactly what they want. Also, resist the urge to offer personal advice. When it inevitably doesn't work out, guess who they're going to blame? You. And finally, always be respectful. This isn't for them, it's for you, to maintain your own composure and integrity.
Okay, we know what not to do, so now let's flip the script. Let's talk about what you should do. This is your proactive toolkit, the practical stuff you can use to steer the conversation somewhere more productive, or at the very least, somewhere less destructive.
These are your foundational moves. First, just listen. Don't argue. Don't confront. This immediately disarms them because they're expecting a fight. Next, paraphrase what they're saying. Something simple like, okay, so what I'm hearing is incredibly effective. Why? Because it holds up a mirror. It makes them actually hear their own negativity, which can sometimes spark a little self-awareness. Using their name, making eye contact, that reminds them you're a person, not just a dumping ground. And all of this is leading to the main goal. Gently, carefully, helping them start to take ownership of their own problem.
And this slide, you guys, this is pure gold. If you feel that conversation spiraling out of control, you pull out one of these questions. My favorite is the first one. What do you think you might do about it? It's a beautiful little judo move. It takes all their complaining energy and flips it right back to them, shifting the focus from blame to problem solving. It puts the ball back in their court, which is exactly where it belongs. This is probably the single most powerful way to reclaim control of a conversation.
We've covered a lot of tools for how to engage, but we have to talk about one final and maybe the most crucial strategy of all.
Sometimes, the smartest move you can make is to simply refuse to play the game.
And I want to be really clear. This is non-negotiable. Especially when you're dealing with someone who is explosive or verbally abusive, your safety, your mental, emotional, and physical safety always comes first. You can listen, you can paraphrase, you can try all the tools, but if things escalate, your only job is to get out of there. Walking away isn't a failure. It is a strategic choice to protect yourself. It's winning.
So let's end with this thought, which is really more of a personal commitment. It says, no matter what's up ahead in my own future, I will never be described by those who love me as a negative person. Because ultimately, mastering these personalities isn't really about them. It's about you. It's about you deciding what kind of energy you allow into your space and what kind of person you are determined to be. When you use these tools, you're not just managing a difficult moment, you're protecting your own peace. You are actively choosing to be a positive force. And really, what's more powerful than that?